and you are live.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to begin the Planning Committee meeting of Akron City Council. Roll call, please. Ms. Viviano?
Lesko,
Aye.
Kamer,
Here.
Connor,
Aye.
Baylor,
Aye.
Mosley.
Aye.
All committee members are present.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to accept a motion that we approve the minutes of the previously held meeting.
I move.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The ayes have it. With that, we'll now move on to the legislative portion here. There's no public hearings, I believe, today. In terms of the regular list of legislation, item number 4 is we had a conditional use public hearing, I believe on the 6th of December, reference 725 East Wilbeth Road. I know the council representative, Mr. Kamer, wanted to have an opportunity to review this particular piece of legislation, and I know he's done that. So if you're comfortable with that, Mr. Kamer, we could go ahead and move forward. And at this point, I'd like to accept a motion for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of ordinance number 4, a conditional use for an automatic hand car wash at 725 East Wilbeth Road, signify by saying aye. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against? Very good. The ayes have it. Assuming that we pass that this evening, we will then ask to file item number 5, which is the petition for that particular conditional use request. And with that, short of any questions or comments, we'll go ahead and move on to the new list of legislation, of which the first item is number 4, which is a resolution adopting the 2022 Capital Investment Community Development Program, legally referred to as the Capital Investment Budget. We will be, from what I understand, today is the introduction of this piece. Obviously, we will be reviewing this on the 10th of January next week. At 1 o'clock, we'll have the public hearing on this. At 4 o'clock, the committee and all of council, of course, would be invited, obviously, to the presentation, which in all likeliness is going to be a Zoom, to go over the budget in detail. In terms of each line by line, we'll be discussing the transportation, parks, public facilities, miscellaneous housing, and economic development. Then on the 24th of January, we will go into the water and sewer, which is very compelling and interesting. Everybody's on the edge of their seats whenever we go over the water and sewer pieces. So we'll be doing that on the 24th. So mark your calendars for 4 o'clock on the 24th. And so that's how we're going to be reviewing the capital budget. Of course, everyone's aware that, after it's passed, we do have a deadline to have it passed pursuant to the charter, but we will be revisiting every piece of every line item for the most part in terms of legislation that will come forward before we move on those particular line items within our capital budget. I thought I saw Helen Tomic. Yes, I do. Yeah, Helen, what's the deadline for this?
February 15th, which is a Tuesday. So February 14th, we need passage by then. Okay,
thank you. Thank you. So that's our deadline. That's our timeline. So is there any questions or preliminary comments at this time from anyone on council? Good. So we'll be taking a deep dive, obviously, into that. Ms. Mobian, did you?
Yes, I just had a question. Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I was reviewing this, I noticed that the ARPA dollars are embedded in this document. I was under the impression that we were going to treat those dollars separate.
Ms. Tomic?
We felt that for the capital projects that they still needed to be identified in the capital budget.
So as
It's our
long as
capital item.
we also do it separately so we can keep track of days.
Pardon me?
I said, as long as we also keep these separate so we can keep
Yes.
track of them.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Further questions or comments? Okay, with that, I'd like to entertain a motion that we refer item number 4.
So
Motion.
moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. The ayes have it. Item number 5 is authorizing conditional use to retain a fence at 595 Narragansett Drive. This is scheduled for a public hearing on January 31st. All those in favor of referring signify by saying aye.
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 Against, the ayes have it. Refer and schedule for public hearing. 6, authorizing the execution of a grant agreement with the Kenmore Neighborhood Alliance from the Kenmore Improvement Fund to assist with the acquisition and improvement of property in the Kenmore Great Streets District. Is there someone here wishing to speak on this?
Yeah, I can. Thank you, Councilman Fusco. And I was trying to get to the raise the hand function in the previous one, but if you have questions on the capital budget and items in there, please feel free to email Helen, myself, so we can, get you the answers that you need. So we'd appreciate that. This is a grant agreement to the Kenmore Neighborhood Alliance to allow them to acquire a property at 998 Kenmore Boulevard and begin rehabilitation of that property. This is from the I've heard it called a number of things, but I'll call it the Kenmore Salt Fund, which is the Cargill pays a certain amount of money every year into a fund for the betterment of the Kenmore area. And this would be that money, and this is legislation to use that money. Tina is on the call, I believe. I saw her, but now it's all float. Oh yeah, there she is. You're on my right now. I was looking over to the left. If you have any questions about the project itself, and I think I don't know if Councilman Freeman is on or not, but he had asked us to assist with this.
Thank you, Mr. Bulliman. Tina Boyes, would you like to offer anything at this point?
Sure. This is a key property in the Kenmore Great Streets District, located it abuts the Rialto Theater, which is kind of the cornerstone of our revitalization in the area. And the property owner is aging out of his business, owns another property on the boulevard, wants to maintain that property, but wants to see this property be in good hands. So it's already in usable condition, but we do want to do some sprucing up of it since it's been sitting for decades with not a lot of improvement. So that's what we plan to do. Our goal is to see it be in the highest and best use. So it doesn't have to be something we operate. It may be something that we find a great business that they can purchase the building from us. We just want to put ourselves in a position to ensure something good goes next to the Rialto Theater and in the Kenmore Boulevard Great Streets.
Thank you. Thank you for all your good work as well. Is there any questions or comments? I have a couple. Is there a rush on this legislation?
We would be fine with, oh, sorry. I'll let Tina go ahead.
Sure. The property owner would like to sell it, we would like to enter into negotiations with the property owner fairly soon, as he has requested. We started this conversation about 2 months ago and have been kind of holding tight till we saw where funding was going. So I don't foresee this being a this week urgent thing, but something we would like to enter into conversation about fairly soon.
I was going to request consent if possible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Would this then, Mr. Volman, would this deplete the salt fund, the Cargill Salt Fund, Kenmore Salt Fund?
That's a great question, and one I do not have the answer for, but I will get it to you.
Okay, very good. Any other questions or comments from anyone? If consent agenda is okay, we can certainly request that. Is there a request for the consent agenda on this item, short of any other questions or comments? Again, thank you, Tina Boyes, for all your hard work and good work in the Kenmore area. You guys have done such a great job transforming that entire neighborhood. Is there a motion for consent?
So moved. Second.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor of consent agenda signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Very good. The ayes have it. We'll report that out for the consent agenda. Thank you again, Tina Boys, for being here. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, very good. 7 is this is approving sale of city-owned property pursuant to the city's land reutilization program in order to facilitate the productive reuse of the property and to reduce the cost to the city.
Okay, I can go ahead. I think Willette is actually off today, so I will go ahead. I mean, this is basically, it's a property that is our traditional side lot, lot for little program. It's on Spalding Street. And that's what I know.
Is this property, is this the typical sale price?
Yep, this is the 5 cents. It is the side, it is the neighboring lot to the property owner. And it's at the lot for the little price.
Okay, very good. And it's a sideline. So
Yep.
the neighbor next door is acquiring this. Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Questions or comments? Mr. Malik?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Volman. I think I know the answer to this, but is there any, do we have any information about what it's going to be used for? There's not going to be any building on it. It's just, the adjoining property owner would like to extend their property.
I don't believe there's, I don't think we ask that question in the side lot program. But I can follow up and see if we know anything about that, but it doesn't look like it would be, big enough really to do much other than for the neighboring property owner, but I can find out if Willette knows the answer to that.
Thank you.
All right.
Very good. Is there further questions or comments from anyone on the committee? Any council members? Anyone whatsoever? Is the consent agenda okay on this one?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there a recommendation for consent agenda?
Motion for consent.
Second.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Very good. The ayes have it.
Thank
So
you.
with that, I believe that concludes our planning committee meeting of Akron City Council. I'll turn it back over to our clerk of council, Sarah Biviano.
Thanks, everyone. Our next committee for the day will be the Public Service Committee. That will begin at 2 o'clock. Those committee members are Mosley, Kamer, Holland, Lombardo, and McKittrick. Again, that's the Public Service Committee. We will end our